Hey everyone, I am Bettina. It is nice to meet you if I haven't had a chance to meet you. I am just here because I'm wanting to share a little bit of who I am and what I, do and like and whatever. I am a baker. I love baking. I have baked really since I was younger. It was something that my grandma used to do, my mom used to do, does probably still. And yeah, so it's just something that I have always enjoyed doing. And it's something that I have really started sharing with my children. They are not going to be present here, they are off in another room doing something. But I just thought it would be great to kind of just chat, get to know you guys. This is super awkward for me, so forgive me if I sound, awkward because honestly, it's kind of a big part of who I am. But baking has always been a lot of fun. Like, even when I was younger, I was homeschooled. Fun fact about me. And I went through this like massive bread baking phase, and it was a lot of fun. Like, I really enjoyed it. But for one of the science classes that I took, we had to do like experiments, science things. And it was a lot of fun, but the science experiment that I did was figuring out how much yeast, like if you put more yeast than the recipe called for, would it actually like increase or make the rising time slower or faster, I mean. Super fantastic and kind of nerdy, but whatever, I enjoyed it. And it was a lot of fun, and like my dad and I built this little proofing box, and like I made these like quarter recipes. I didn't make whole recipes because I had a big family, but we couldn't eat that much bread. And yeah, it was just really fun. So baking has always been kind of a big part of my life. And I found out at the beginning of October that October is actually National Cookie Month. Who knew, right? So, being the overachieving baker that I am, I decided that we were going to bake 31 cookies in 31 days. And so far, it's actually been not too bad. I'm a couple of days behind this weekend. My kids were away, so we didn't really get a chance to bake anything. But regardless, it's been fun and experimenting. There's been one cookie that I made that it was interesting. It wasn't great. But so far they've been pretty cool. So anyway, so today I'm actually going to be making salted butterscotch pudding pretzel cookies. So we'll see how that goes as we go along here. So yeah, I think one thing that I've always really liked about baking is that it's got ingredients and a recipe, and there's like directions to follow. But within that, once you get kind of comfortable with it and more familiar, you can change things up. Like, not something drastic, but I've enjoyed the freedom and the what would you call it? Creativity, I guess. Different types of chocolate chips. Sometimes you use brown sugar instead of white sugar. Like, there's just, maybe it's kind of silly, and I like pushing those boundaries. I don't know, whatever. But I like that there's rules because, not that I always like rules. Sometimes rules are a little bit, but it's something that I can, if I follow the instructions, every time I make it, chances are pretty good it's going to turn out. It's not like, well, throw these things together, A plus B doesn't always equal C. So, whatever. Anyway, that's just something that I always kind of enjoy doing. And I thought I had gathered all of my ingredients, but clearly I did not, and then I forgot whether it was baking powder or baking soda. And they are not the same thing. If you are not a baker, I'm going to let you know a little secret. Baking powder and baking soda do not do the same thing. So, free tip me to you. All right. So we are making these cookies, and they are going to be, well, I hope delicious. Basically, they're chocolate chip cookies with toffee and butterscotch and sea salt in them, so how can they go bad, right? So, yeah, I was talking about how the reason I like baking is just because of how it, it gives you the directions. I'm an A plus B equals C type of person. I used to think when I was younger that I was very like left brain, right brain. The right brain's the creative types, and the left brains are the more like methodical and logic. I was always more of like the follow the instructions, follow the left brain straight. And then as I got older, I realized that while that's still true, like I still have a lot of left brain tendencies. Like, I mean, everybody does. I'm a lot more in the middle than I used to think. I used to say things like, I'm not creative. Oh, you're so creative. I wish I was creative like you. And that is something that I was always very adamant about. I am not an artist. I'm not creative. I'm not any of that. And over the past years of my adult life, I realized that maybe that's not actually all that true. And actually, funny story, a couple of months ago in Life Kids, we had the theme was about creativity. And I'm kicking myself because I can't remember exactly what the theme was, but essentially it was about creativity. And the bottom line was, you are creative because you're, oven's preheated. You are created in the image of God, and because you're created in the image of God, you have creativity, blah, 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 blah. But people's creativity looks a little bit different. So when I was saying I'm not creative, I don't have this creative bone, really what I was saying is I don't draw well, which is 100% true. You can ask anybody who's ever played Pictionary or watched me try to draw. I am not an artist in that sense. But my art looks a little bit different. You know, my art looks like cookies or cake or pie. Actually, I make pie like nobody's business. Or music. You know, there are a lot of different ways that you can be an artist. So, yeah, we're all creative. We're all artists. It just looks a little bit different. All right, so we've got that going. We're going to throw in the butterscotch, which I'm really excited about. I was kind of surprised to see that it was salted butterscotch and not salted caramel. But whatever, it's easier because they have butterscotch. And this is a Betty Crocker recipe, so usually those are pretty good. So what kind of things do you like to do for your creativity? For your, to show your creativity. I know some people are super creative, like artistically with, you know, drawing and sculpting and whatever else you do, painting and that sort of thing. That has just never been my experience. So, I just got this super new cool toy where it makes my phone, well, it actually makes the base that the recording is on turn with me to follow my... The problem is when I start doing these with my kids, it'll be interesting to see which face they follow, but we'll see. Yeah, so I'm adding in the eggs here. And I'm going to throw in the vanilla, which I also didn't pick. Oh yeah, that's looking good. That is starting to look very good. Sometimes, oops, it's just not going to work, is it? All right, so now we add in the vanilla. Then we are going to mix in the flour mixture. So I have discovered something about myself since, basically since COVID started and everything was has gone online. I haven't been on camera a whole lot before that. And I have never realized how much I touch my face until you're on camera. And then I realized that I actually don't touch my face often unless I'm talking to a camera, which doesn't make any sense. But like, obviously while baking, that's a giant no-no. You gotta keep clean and not touch everything. So don't worry, no dough is harmed in the making of this. I'm not gonna be spreading my germs all over. We'll be all right. So this recipe calls for pretzel twist crushed. I'm trying to figure out a way to crush them without making like a ton of noise. And I really need to get them crushed before my girls get started. 4 minutes here. Oops. Putting them in a bag and putting them would be the easiest, but that looks like a plastic bag. May end up happening though. Alright, well, mostly got those crushed up, so we are good to go. Now I just need to stir in the chocolate chips and the toffee bits and the pretzels and the coarse sea salt, which, yum. How can you go wrong with those options, or those items in your recipe, right? Yum, yummery, yum, yum. So, here goes the toffee. There go the pretzels. Now, it's kind of a tough dough, so we'll see how easy it is to mix, you know? Teaspoon of salt, coarse sea salt. So, get the vanilla out of there. Perfect, perfect. And then the chocolate chips. Alright, I'm going to come back on in just a minute and show you what the cookies look like on the baking sheet, and then we are going to sign off. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm super excited. Look at this dough. Look at this. You see that? You see that? It's basically chocolate chip cookie dough because it's got sugar, brown sugar, eggs, flour, chocolate chips, but then it also has toffee pieces and butterscotch pudding mix, which adds a subtle flavor of like, And it's going to have the crunch and the salt from the pretzels. Oh, I'm super excited to try this, like, baked. I may end up eating half the dough raw. Probably not. But I'll probably eat some of it. Let's be honest. Because why not, right? Alright, so now I am scooping out this dough. Oops. Alright, so I'm scooping out this dough. Oh, and I'm super excited about this. Super, super, super excited about these cookies. It's such a thick dough, just perfect. Like you could almost like grab it with your hands and roll it into a ball, you know, that kind of thick dough. If you've made cookies before, you know what I'm talking about. If you've eaten cookies before, you probably know what I'm talking about. Alright guys, I just put those cookies in the oven, and they're going to bake for about 9 minutes, and then they're going to be fantastic. And I cannot wait to see what they look like and to eat them. They're going to be ooey and gooey and salty and crunchy and So thanks for hanging out with me today. I will be back at some point, theoretically, to hang out with you guys again. And if you have any questions, drop us a message. Drop us a question in the comments, messages on Facebook, whatever you need to do. All right, peace out.